Boa noite a todos, eu sou a Paula, eu falo do coletivo de Buenos Aires. Estamos juntos aqui para mais uma meditação. Podemos começar levando a nossa atenção para a nossa respiração, observando o ar que entra e sai de nossos pulmões, mantendo a postura de meditação. Vamos deixando de lado qualquer preocupação, pensamento, qualquer tensão que esteja em nossos músculos. Vamos relaxando. E nossa atenção permanece em nossa respiração. Vamos juntos agora elevar a Kundalini e dar os 7 bandas de proteção, com atenção em cada movimento. Vamos agora levar a atenção para a água do nosso banho de pés. Vamos direcionar a mão direita e juntos vamos entoar o mantra Shri Samudra Devata. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Samudra Devata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Podemos dar bandas, girando a mão no sentido horário por 7 vezes. E em seguida colocamos os pés. A nossa atenção vai para o Muladhara, na base da coluna. Direcionamos a nossa mão direita para a Mãe Terra. E aqui nós vamos pedir, Mãe, por favor, desperta em nós a inocência, a pureza e a sabedoria de Shri Ganesha. Por favor, remove todos os obstáculos à nossa ascensão. Mantra a Shri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Ainda com atenção no Muladhara, vamos juntos entoar o Shri Ganesha Tarva Shirish.
Tattvamasi, Tvameva Avastat, Avotaratat, Avadakshinatat, Avachodvatat, Avadharatat, Sarvato Mam Pahi Pahi Samantat, Tvam Vangmaya Swam Chinmaya, Tvam Anandamaya Swam Brahmamaya, Tvam Sachidananda Dvityosi, Tvam Pratyaksham Brahmasi, Tvam Jnanamayo Vijnanamayosi, Sarvam Jagadidam Tvato Jayate, Sarvam Jagadidam Tvatastishthati, Sarvam Jagadidam Tvai Layameshyati, Sarvam Jagadidam Tvai Pratyeti, Tvam Bhumirapo Analo Anilo Navaha, Tvam Chatvari Vakpadani, Tvam Gunatrayatitaha, Tvam Dehatrayatitaha, Tvam Kalatrayatitaha, Tvam Mooladharasthitosi Nityam, Tvam Shakti Trayatmakaha, Tvam Yogino Jayanti Nityam, Tvam Brahma Swam Vishnu Swam Rudra Swam Indra Swam Agni Swam Vayu Swam Surya Swam Chandrama Swam Brahma Bhurbhuvaha Swarom Ganadim Purvamucharya Varnadim Tadanantaram Anuswaraha Parataraha Ardhendulasitam Tarena Rudham Etatava Manuswarupam Gakaraha Purvarupam Akaro Madhyamarupam Anuswarashchanthyarupam Bindurutararupam Nadaha Sandhanam Sahita Sandhi Saisha Ganesha Vidya Ganaka Rishihi Nishad Gayatri Chandaha Ganapatir Devata Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat Ekadantam Chaturhastam Pasham Ankushdharinam Radam Cha Varadam Hastaivi Pranam Mushadhvajam Raktam Lambodaram Shurva Karnakam Rakta Vasasam Rakta Gandhanu Liptangam Rakta Pushpai Supujitam Bhaktanu Kampinam Devam Jagat Karanam Achyutam Avirbhutam Cha Srishtayado Prakrite Purushat Param Evam Dhyayati Yo Nityam Sahayogi Yoginam Varaha Namo Vratapataye Namo Ganapataye Namaha Pramathapataye Namaste Astu Lambodharaya Ekadantaya Vignanashine Shiva Sutaya Shri Varada Murtaye Namo Namaha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha.
Vamos agora levar a atenção para o nosso coração, lado esquerdo do peito. E aqui nós vamos afirmar: Mãe, por tua graça, nós somos o puro Espírito. Mãe, por tua graça, nós somos o puro Espírito. Mãe, por favor, venha em nosso coração. A nossa mão direita pode ir agora para o encontro do ombro com o pescoço do lado esquerdo. E aqui nós vamos afirmar: Mãe, por tua graça, não temos culpa de nada. Mãe, por tua graça, não temos culpa de nada. Mãe, não temos culpa de nada. A nossa atenção se eleva ao Agni Chakra. Colocamos a mão direita sobre a testa. E aqui nós vamos perdoar. Mãe, por tua graça, eu perdoo a todos e também a mim mesma. Mãe, por tua graça, eu perdoo a todos, inclusive a mim mesma. Mãe, eu perdoo a todos e perdoo também a mim mesma. Nossa atenção se eleva ao Sahasrara. Aqui nós vamos fazer uma massagem, pressionando a mão direita e girando no sentido horário, no topo da nossa cabeça. E aqui pedimos: Mãe, por favor, venha em nossos Sahasraras. Por favor, estabiliza a nossa conexão com o divino. Mãe, por favor, estabiliza a nossa realização do si. Podemos levar a nossa mão direita de volta ao colo e mantemos a nossa atenção no Sahasrara. Quem desejar pode olhar para o Binte de Shri Mataji, que também nos ajuda a manter o estado de consciência sem pensamentos. Nós agora vamos encerrar o banho de pés, podemos enxaguar, dispensar a água e em seguida retornamos para dar sequência. Vamos retornando, tomando novamente a postura de meditação. A nossa atenção permanece aqui no Sahasrara. Quem desejar pode novamente fazer uma massagem com a mão direita. Podemos levar a nossa mão de volta ao colo. E agora, com a atenção firme no Sahasrara, vamos assistir ao discurso de Shri Mataji.
I bow to all the seekers of truth. As I told you yesterday, that truth is what it is. We cannot understand it. You have to feel it. We cannot conceptualize it. And you cannot feel it also at this human awareness. We have to become a subtler being, as described in all the scriptures, that you are to be born again, and that you have to become the spirit to feel the existence of truth. First thing we have to understand that all this is a process of a living energy. Divine is a living energy, and divinity within you also is a living energy. We do not understand sometimes what is a living energy. When we sow a seed in the grounds, they sprout by themselves. When a mother conceives a child, according to the normal nature of human beings, their body has to expel everything that is foreign. But when the child is conceived, it is not only kept in the body, but is nourished, looked after, developed, and at the right time it is expelled. There are so many other things which cannot be explained through medical science. But one must know that to understand what I am saying, you must have an open mind, like a scientist has. And if you find what I am saying, which is like a hypothesis, is true and gives you the experience of the truth, then as honest people, you must accept it. Because it is for your emancipation and for the emancipation of the whole world. In our evolutionary process, now we have become human beings. But as you know, we have not achieved the absoluteness. For that, something has to happen within us. Last breakthrough has to take place, and that is what we are talking about here. You have been already told about the mechanism that is here. And this mechanism exists within you. These two lines that you see, left and right, are nourishing our left and right sympathetic nervous system. And the central one that you see here is nourishing our parasympathetic nervous system. Now these centers are created by these two sides, left and right, like this in the center, and these centers are all the time exhausted by us whenever we try to use energy. For example, if you are running fast, you can increase the heart rate. But it comes to its normal self through the parasympathetic nervous system, while in emergency you use your sympathetic nervous system. Thus, we start exhausting the energy of these centers. And that's how we get into problems of our physical, mental, and emotional being. Supposing we are exhausting the energy on the right-hand side, means we are very futuristic, we are planning all the time, thinking of the future. Then what happens? The right side starts moving like this. And something happens on the left side, a shock, then it breaks. When it breaks, then we lose our connection with the central nervous system. That means we lose our connection with our brain that controls it, and we become on our own. And that's how psychosomatic troubles start, especially cancer, and the malignancy sets in. When the Kundalini rises from there, she goes through this center as well as this center, pushes them together and nourishes them. Now let us see what is the quality of all these centers within us. This is all within us, and we have to see that how we exist with the energy of the centers. The first center that you see is down below. This center, which is down below, is below the Kundalini. And so we have to understand that this center supports the rising of the Kundalini, but is not pierced through by the Kundalini. This center is for all our excretion, even sex. So those people who say that through sex you can raise your Kundalini, they are absolutely wrong and are misleading you. Because you can see here clearly it is below that. This is the center of innocence. It's the center where we say that the deity of innocentity, who incarnated later on as Christ, on the higher center there, between where you see this, my red spot, is one of the windows. It is on the optic chiasma. And that's how we say that Christ was the incarnation of innocence. Because he is sitting on the optic chiasma, he said that thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. This is the sentence he has used. To such a subtle way he has suggested that you will not have adulterous eyes, meaning you will have very pure eyes, innocent eyes. Why did he talk of the eyes? Because he's sitting on the optic chiasma. It's a very constricted center, and he was to be resurrected to show that you can also pass through that center very easily. So his message is not his crucifixion, but his resurrection. And that is how we are all going to resurrected, not after death, but right now. We should not postpone our resurrection anymore. Then the second center that we have is very important, which is called as the Swadhisthana. This center looks after physical and our mental activities. Perhaps the doctors don't know that it has a very important work to do, is that it has to nourish the brain with new cells, because all the time the brain is using these cells for its activity. So the energy has to go from this center up there, you can see, and then it nourishes the center. It nourishes the brain through its activity. Now when we are very futuristic, or we are using too much of a brain, I should say, too much of a brain activity we have. We are futuristic, we are planning too much, thinking too much all the time, thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. That time we are using the energy of this center. But this center has another very important thing to be done, that it goes round, as you see, it moves all round here. It's shown here directly, but it's connected to the center. And it moves round and round and round and gives energy to this area where we have our liver, our pancreas, our spleen, kidney, and parts of intestines. Now, if we start exhausting ourselves with too much thinking, then the main work of the center suffers, and that's how we develop all these diseases of all these organs. Like, for example, with liver, you develop a liver problem. Liver problem means that liver has a function to emit heat from your body, which is poison, into the bloodstream. But when liver gets upset, we should say, the heat is retained in the liver. It passes upward and downward. When it passes upward, it affects a center there, as you can see, what we call as the right heart, and people develop what we call the disease as asthma. And when it passes downwards, it reaches the kidneys and coagulates, and you get kidney troubles, for which we have to go on dialysis and ultimately to die. So this heat is created because our liver is out of care. At the same time, this heat can also pass if a person, say, at a very young age drinks and puts in too much of physical efforts and is all the time busy thinking. He might get a very fatal heart attack because this heat can go towards his heart and just collapse it. Also, those people work very hard like that can get a very massive heart attack. But the people who have other problems on the left-hand side are different type. They are the people who have lethargic organs. These organs do not work. And when they do not work, then they have all the other problems of the left side, as we call it. And this also causes another serious problem of psychosomatic troubles. Now, the essence of this center is that it is creativity. When the Kundalini nourishes the center, people become extremely creative. Now, you have seen these artists who are playing here. They were very simple, ordinary artists, but after coming to Sahaja Yoga, suddenly they have bloomed so much. The most surprising thing is that people, say even from Switzerland, who do not know a word of Sanskrit, who do not know a word of Hindi language, have composed poems, they have put them to tunes, and they sing as good as these people can sing. It's impossible to believe that even the English, who are so difficult to even pronounce a sentence in Hindi language, are now fluently speaking Sanskrit and talking all these things. Because of this creativity improves you. We have so many artists in India who came to Sahaja Yoga. I don't know if you know their names or not, like Amjad Ali, Jalota, so many of them. They got their realization, and after that, now today they are very well-known artists. Also the paintings. We have some Australian people who became quite good artists after coming to Sahaja Yoga. So it gives you a sense of aesthetics, and also it gives you the energy to express yourself. Now, if you have the technique of how to create anything, say you want to make a house, or you want to paint, or if you want to do something, moldings, or anything that you want to do, if you have the technique, the creativity, the power of creativity starts pouring in you, and you start producing things on which you cannot even have thought of, and these things happen to a person. So a person can become extremely dynamic with this. But if with that you do not keep your Sahaja Yoga practice, means if you do not keep your connection with the divine, then the energy gets exhausted. That's why self-realization is very important for every artist, that he should get his connection with this all-pervading power, which is the combination of all the powers, so that he doesn't feel exhausted with it. Not only that, but all the time the source is flowing into him. Constantly it has to flow, and that's why you have to do little practice of Sahaja Yoga after getting your realization, as I told you yesterday, that now you don't stop at this point. You have to make the connection perfect. Without the connection, it may be that you may go down. So it's best is to keep your connection on and work it out, to give full respect to yourself, to your being. You are not an ordinary thing. You are not a chicken or something like that. You are a human being. And the beauty that is within you is to be discovered, is to be nourished, and to be proud of.
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्रीमहालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माताजी श्रीनिर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
Estamos chegando no final da nossa meditação. Vamos juntos elevar a Kundalini e dar os 7 bandas de proteção. Muito obrigada a todos pela companhia nesta meditação. Desejo uma excelente noite e nos encontramos amanhã na meditação das 5. Namastê, Jai Shri Mataji.